The formalities are basically over at the United States Senate. The trial begins on Tuesday. Now, the first part of the trial will be that you'll see on television will be the actual rules. There'll be a rule passed and then amendments made and amendments offered to the rules. And when those amendments are offered, this is the first time you will start seeing these legal teams, the 7 House managers and the newly expanded legal team from the president.
The team is Pat Cipollone, the White House counsel. Jay Sekulow, the president's outside attorney, will also be playing a critical role. Ken Starr, of course, who was involved in the Monica Lewinsky report that led to the impeachment of President Bill Clinton. Alan Dershowitz, the Harvard law professor who voted for Hillary Clinton and opposed the impeachment of Bill Clinton. He says that he is going to be arguing on behalf of the Constitution for the president. Robert Ray, the former Whitewater prosecutor, the former Attorney General of Florida, Pam Bondi, and Jane Raskin, who was one of the president's key outside attorneys in the Mueller investigation. Jay Sekulow's son, Jordan, will assist his father. He is the executive director of the American Center for Law and Justice.
Each side gets an hour. Now, they don't have to use all that time. An hour each, so 2 hours possibly, to argue for or against a proposed amendment. The senators don't get to make that. The legal teams do.
That's right, Jordan, but I would still expect that this to be the part of the procedure where a lot of the sort of maybe tertiary arguments that the other side, that those prosecuting the case want to make, Jordan, that they would make them because, look, when it gets down into the substance, they're going to lose some of that opportunity. So I think if people are watching these proceedings, they're probably going to see some arguments made and think, wait a minute, this isn't relevant to the amendment to the rule that is put forward. Let's say there's an amendment, Jordan, that wants to amend what time the Senate adjourns on a given day or how much time each side has. I think you will see arguments made that aren't related to that point at hand. So then you might get into a squabble of whether or not it's germane, and you might see motions related to that. But Jordan, I think this is going to be probably the part that is going to look the most like a free-for-all because it will be the opportunity that some of these things that are not central to the case, that the House did not prosecute, I think you will try to see them get those talking points across during this phase of the proceedings.
These are the people who are going to be orally presenting for the most part. I mean, I know on our side of our side, that's the idea. So they'll be making oral arguments, if you will, if you want to call it that, to the U.S. Senate. And when you're on the president's team, it's for various reasons against the impeachments. I talked about on Fox News this morning. There are the political and partisan aspects to just how it all began. There's the constitutional aspects that this is violating really the powers of the president in Article 2 of the Constitution. It's not all about President Trump, though. It is, because that's why they're doing it. If it was any other president, there would be no impeachment trial. It's because of how much they dislike this extremely successful president.